Hello everybody, we're doing another Fair Friday so that we can highlight a project that you can exhibit at the county fair. So this afternoon we are going to focus on photography. So I'm going to assume that you've taken your pictures and you're ready to print them. So you can go to any company you want to print them. Walmart has the 1 hour, Walgreens, or you can even go to other places to get them professionally printed as well. You'll want to set them at an 8x10 size, no smaller than a 7x9, but it's safest to just stick with the 8x10 size. And you'll want to make sure that you don't do too much editing with that photo, that you can remove red eyes and things like that, but don't do much altering beyond that point. Try to keep it as natural as it is. The other thing is when you hit edit to 8x10 size, you'll want to really make sure that you're careful and check where it's cropping. Some will self-crop, and if you're not watching out, it may cut off the main subject of your photo, or take too much where you didn't expect it to do so. So once you hit select the 8x10 size, make sure that you just double check that it is cropping your photo where you'd like it to crop. Some photos will come with a white edge around the outside, that they're not automatically set for that 8x10. So you'll want to take that white edge off, and you can do that with one of these paper cutters or a scrapbooking cutter that helps you with the rulers and stuff on there as well. So I have photos here. They may not be the best photo to win grand champion at all, but just to highlight, so this is a vertical print on the photo mount board, and here's a horizontal. So the thing you need to remember is that the boards always need to go this direction. Boards are 11.5 by 12.5, so you want to make sure that you're always going off the narrow side. Your local extension office should carry photo mount boards for you. Here in the Southwind District, we sell the boards for $1 a piece, and they come 5 to a pack. So, or we can take one out if you need that too, but just so that you know, they do come in a 5-pack. So today, I've already mounted these 2 photos today, but I was going to show you how to mount one here right now. And so here's a picture that I printed off, and so it's an 8x10. And what you do, just to make it a little easier, is you can make a cheater board, and so you could purchase an extra photo mount board and measure out 1-inch dimension, because that is how far down you need to be on your photo mount board. So this is going to just be an easy guide for me to quickly do my pictures. So I just go to the top of the board. Remember, you're on the narrow side, so it should fit perfectly because you are using a photo mount board you purchased from our office. And make sure that it is directly on the edge. And I already have lines on here as well to make it easier to see marks to make sure it's centered. Okay, so your board should look like this. And you can double check to make sure it is even with the top, and I think it's pretty even. Okay. So then I just take my picture just to double check to see where it will land on my board. And I do want it centered from the edges. So I'll find my marks, and that's where it's gonna be perfectly straight. And so I will then spray mount. There's different options that you can use. I've always used spray mount because it's just easier, it's messier. So I'll tell you some tips on that. The other ways you can do it is, here in Neosho County, we do have, or at the Erie office, we have a photo mount press that was donated to us to use, and we have some sheets that go on the back of the photo by tacking it, and then you can put it on the back of the photo, mount it, and then it's a heat press to do a solid coverage. So that's the key thing, is all of the edges, the entire photo, all the way around needs to be permanently attached to your board. So I'm going to move over here. The best thing that I like to use when I do photo mounting is newspaper. Sometimes it might get a little bit of stuff on it, so you'll want to be careful. But you can use scrap pieces of paper or scrap different paper sheets like this that you get in the mail. So, and the thing you need to know also is once you've sprayed, you need to throw the stuff away because it will keep a sticky edge all over the board, and so you'll want to get new stuff every time. That's why I like to use newspaper. So, photo mount board, photo mount spray. He said you can get it from any location. I've just been using Scotch. You can use any kind. But it's made by 3M, so that's kind of where I did that. But so you'll want to shake this very well. I've already done those 2 photos, so it's pretty well shaken up. So I'm going to take and spray this photo. You want to make sure that you're directly above in spraying, because if you get down here, you could get up under the picture, because it even on a flat surface here, the photo does stay up on the edges. So make sure that you are from the top spraying down. So it doesn't need a whole lot. So I just try to do like the spray paint method and go across. And just know it goes everywhere. So cover a good amount of space, but I think I've got good coverage. So I'm going to take my picture over here. And this adhesive is very good and aggressive, so make sure that you're just barely putting down the parts of the photo that you need to put down. And once it's down where it needs to go, you can begin letting it set down. And just be careful, you don't want to bend the photo. And you can lightly press, but what I like to do is to get a piece of paper. You can use gloves if you'd like, but a piece of paper, and you can press it down really good. And then I'm going to pick my paper up, and I'm going to come down here and press it down really good. Okay. The other thing that you can do is you could press it in between some heavy books or something to help keep it down, but it should be very good and very well attached if you got enough spray on there. So then you can take your little binder clips off, and your picture should be perfectly centered. So hopefully mine's pretty good. But then once you have your picture all ready to go, you'll want to make sure you just lay them flat for a while. I wouldn't stack them on top of each other if you have several photos. But then on the back, depending on what division you're enrolling in at the fair or submitting entries, for 4-H you have to have your name. Photo class, some of our local counties don't have a class, but you'll just put black and white photo or your age range. So maybe your experience is 3 years or less, so that's what you would put here. The name of the class. Then Southwind Erie is our district identifier, and then we also are to put our county as well. So I made sure to put Neosho County for here. So that is your finished photo. When it's been allowed to lay flat and dry a little bit, then you need to put it into a Ziploc bag, a 2-gallon Ziploc bag, or sometimes we have clear adhesive, not adhesive, but clear sleeved baggies that you can use that fit perfectly in here and make it look really nice. So when you do that, don't seal those bags, because we need to be able to take the photo out to judge them properly. So the other thing you need to do is, you've gotten everything to this point, now you need to add your entry card. So here's the entry card I have today. It's not very professional, but it is what I have. And so depending on where it's best to put the entry card, it won't affect the photo if it's here, at least to get it judged. And the other thing is we have photo strips as well that you can use. So on this one is where I'll attach my picture, just to show you what it looks like, or my entry card. This is good to do to bring them to the fair, and then they may adjust how they are later, but you need to take a big paper clip because they won't hug the board too tightly, and then you can just easily put your paper clip on there. and then you can put it in the bag and it's ready to go to the fair. So one thing to note when you're taking pictures for the fair that is very important is all of the railway right-of-ways, the railroad crossings and the tracks. You need to stay away from those because all of the photos that are taken on those locations will be disqualified. That railway area, that right-of-way is strictly the property of that rail company, and so and it's very dangerous also. So just to remember, a piece to remember about that. Your photos can be of any subject, so make sure to just go out and have fun. Other than that, I think that is all that we have for making sure you properly mount a photo. So if you have questions, you can comment them below. We're happy to answer those questions. Open class and 4-H typically use the same setup and same rules. So, but that is another Fair Friday for you to prep you for this year's county fair. Thanks.